Our daily Bible reading for January 21st. Our reading today comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11. We'll be reading verses 1 through 19. When Jesus had finished instructing his 12 disciples, he went on from there to teach and preach in their cities. Now when John heard in prison about the deeds of the Christ, he sent word by his disciples and said to him, "Are you the one who is to come, or shall we look for another?" And Jesus answered them, "Go and tell John what you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. Lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. And the dead are raised up, and the poor have good news preached to them. And blessed is the one who is not offended by me." As they went away, Jesus began to speak to the crowds concerning John. "What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind? What then did you go out to see? A man dressed in soft clothing? Behold, those who wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. What then did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. This is he of whom it is written, 'Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you.' Truly, I say to you, among those born of women there has arisen no one greater than John the Baptist. Yet the one who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven has suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you're willing to accept it, he is Elijah who is to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. But to what shall I compare this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling to their playmates. We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We sang a dirge, and you did not mourn. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, 'He has a demon.' The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, 'Look at him, a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners.' Yet wisdom is justified by her deeds." A few thoughts for today. The mission of John the Baptist had been foretold from the days of Malachi in the Old Testament. Malachi 3:1 we read, "Behold, I am going to send my messenger, and he will clear the way before me." Certainly, Jesus knew the fate that awaited his cousin John when news was brought of his arrest. John's disciples were sent to Jesus to inquire if he was the expected one. We don't really know why John did this, since he himself had seen the Holy Spirit descend on him and the Father exclaim his satisfaction with the Son. Some think that John sent his disciples that they might see for themselves, and seeing, believe in the Messiah. Jesus puts the life of John the Baptist into perspective. There had been none greater than John. When you consider Abraham, Elijah, Daniel, David, Jeremiah, and more, that's quite a statement. Perhaps it was the fact that he announced the Messiah and the coming kingdom that made him great. Maybe because John's coming too had been foretold. Again, we can only speculate. The kingdom Jesus spoke of could not have yet existed, for none yet were greater than John. But a kingdom was coming in which John would be the least. That kingdom? The church, the bride of Christ. Yes, you and I as Christians are greater than John the Baptist. This is the same kingdom Daniel said he would set up in the midst of the fourth kingdom in Daniel chapter 2. That fourth kingdom was the mighty Roman Empire. The establishment of that kingdom came on the day of Pentecost when Peter and the apostles preached the first gospel message and 3,000 were baptized. We rejoice not in the fact that we are greater than John, but that we were counted worthy to enter that kingdom. Question of the day. Have you thought of the greatness bestowed on the members of Christ's church and what it means to be a part of such an organization? And finally, a thought to meditate on. As John the Baptist wandered around in camel's hair garments and preached the coming kingdom, would such teaching methods be accepted today? And those are our thoughts for today, January 21st.